Hey, Teddy K here for the Best Buy blog, and in this video review we take a look at the new Fire HD 10 from Amazon, a tablet that the company thinks is going to be great not just for consumption, but also for productivity. Whenever Amazon comes out with a new tablet, it doesn't change a whole lot, and the Fire HD 10, at least the 2021 version, is not a dramatic departure from the 2019 version. There are some changes though. I mean, under the hood, you've got more RAM, so you have 3 gigs of RAM, you have a bit of a faster processor, so that should help with performance. And the screen is supposed to be 10% brighter, although it's very hard to measure that. It's a little bit thinner, so Amazon did manage to trim down the bezels around this device, so it actually is a little bit shorter when you're holding it upright. It's a tad bit thinner and maybe a wee bit slimmer as well. So overall, you could argue that it is more of a, I guess, a a device you could wield. But to me, with everything that Amazon's looking to do or has changed here, there is one fundamental thing that I want to talk about after. Before I get to that, there's some things that I should point out as far as what's different. Now, I mentioned some of the hardware points, but as far as software goes, there is not a huge difference there. This is Fire OS 7 as of launch. So Amazon is a little bit behind as far as the Android forks go. This is kind of based on Android 9, so you're not going to get some of those features from Android 11 or the upcoming 12 that are going to kind of translate over here the way Amazon, I guess, adapts Android to this device. So there is an emphasis also on productivity in kids. So there is a kids app. There is also a kids version. There actually are 2 versions of the kids, of this tablet for kids. So if you are looking to buy something for a little one, don't necessarily go with this, go with one of those. That's probably a better fit. For productivity, Amazon feels like this is a good enough device for you to actually get some work done. And there is a keyboard attachment, although it'll work with any Bluetooth keyboard, but there is a keyboard attachment that I tested this with to try that out. The only thing I'm going to say about that is that it works, but I don't know that I would look at this as a productivity device, really. I think it's possible. You have Microsoft Office on there, and that's cool, but Amazon App Store doesn't offer you a lot of the other productivity apps that you might take for granted on Android. So if you are going to use this for productivity in any way, you're going to have to get the Google Play Store on there, and that's something I'm going to get into. The Play Store does not come with this device. So if you've used Amazon tablets before, you know that that's just something that doesn't happen. But you can get it on there, and you don't have to necessarily do anything all that intricate to make that happen. Once you do, the Play Store works quite well on here, and a lot of the apps that you want to download or use will function on this tablet perfectly fine. Again, the hardware limitations are going to get in the way a little bit, but at the same time, it does work. And to me, it makes a big difference in the usability of the device. So now all of a sudden, if you want to edit photos, you can do so on something like Lightroom or some other app that was not available in the App Store. If there's content you want to watch, you can watch it on an app that otherwise wouldn't be available either. YouTube, for example, there's no YouTube app on the App Store, but on the Play Store, of course, there is, and when you use it on here, it works like a charm. So you get the idea. Once you get the Play Store on here, it changes the usability of the device completely. Not necessarily just for productivity, but also for consumption as well. And for me, it's a must. If you are going to use this for any reason, I feel like you probably should put it on here so that you just get more out of the tablet, especially given what you're going to be paying. There are a couple features that I did like as I was using this, although they do come with caveats. So split screen is kind of cool, where you can use 2 apps at the same time on the screen. It works, but here's the thing. If you're going to do it with apps from Amazon's App Store, it should be fine. Not every single app supports it, but most do, at least from what I've seen thus far. But if you're going to do it with one of Google's apps, it's interesting because the Play Store, you can actually enable split screen mode with the Play Store, but like the Play Store app itself. But when you're doing it with an app that you've downloaded from the Play Store, it doesn't work with that feature. You can get it in split screen, you just can't do anything with it. So it looks like it's, you're in multitasking mode basically, and you're just flipping through apps, but you can't actually engage anything with it. So there is an unfortunate limitation there that is, well, it's too bad. But I did find that there were a couple apps where it could work, but for the most part, though, it just doesn't. Amazon raised the battery life to up to 12 hours, which is pretty significant because the previous version was at 10. So with 12, and it goes up to about 12, with moderate screen brightness and mixed usage, you should be fine getting up to at least 10, but probably closer to 11 and a little bit more than that. So that's pretty good for a tablet of this size and of, I guess, this caliber. So if you are going to use it for a longer stretch, like you want to binge watch a show or something like that, you're not going to have a problem really doing that here. It charges fairly quickly through USB-C, which is good too. There is a micro SD card slot on here if you want to expand the storage, so you can get 32 or 64 gigs of internal storage, and then you can expand on that after in case you want to download content that you can then watch after offline. Not a problem, it totally works on here, so you're good there. One thing I'll say also about the Play Store is that it's kind of cool that you can use apps that are, I guess, competitors to Amazon. So Kobo's app works perfectly fine on here. Google Home can work on here too. So it's kind of neat that you can do that. And I liked also the idea, like I liked reading comics also. Unfortunately, those apps generally, except for Comixology, comic apps are generally not available in the Amazon App Store, but they are, of course, in the Play Store. And bringing them over, I really enjoyed reading just whether it was books or comic books on this device. It felt good one-handed. And even if I got a case for it, it felt great like that too. And that's my review of the Amazon Fire HD 10 tablet, 2021 edition. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.